Alvarado says her former husband was following an extreme version of the Black Hebrew Israelite.
The mother of two teenage girls found dead inside their father's home is now laying out what she says led up to their deaths.
Now, the cause of death is still a mystery, but the girl's mother and stepfather suspect their extreme beliefs played a role in this. Now, they spoke only to Cairo 7's Andrew Scheinthal, and he joins us now live from Everett, where the girl's mother lives. And this is a really sad and strange story, Andrew.
It certainly is. You know, it's about 2 years ago or so when their mother says she started to realize her daughters started to take on their father's religious beliefs. At first, they didn't think much of it, but those beliefs started to become more and more extreme. And now she's wondering if that played a role in their death.
This was the day that I was teaching her to drive.
Betsy Alvarado can't help but smile when she thinks of her daughters, 17-year-old Adriana and 16-year-old Marielle.
They were amazing.
But all she has now are photos and memories.
Last time we hung out was actually that picture.
Her daughters were found dead inside their father's Renton home this past weekend. His body found alongside them. Alvarado identifies him as 33-year-old Manuel Gill. How or why they died remains a mystery. Police say there's no evidence of foul play, forced entry into the home, carbon monoxide poisoning, or drug use.
All I do all day is try to put things together.
But Alvarado and the girl's stepfather have their own theory.
They've been being brainwashed by what they were calling their religion, but must be a cult.
Alvarado says her former husband was following an extreme version of the Black Hebrew Israelites. The Anti-Defamation League classifies some sects of the religion as a hate group. From the clothes they wore to their diet and even behavior, the girl's stepfather could see over the last 2 years how their lives started to change.
Everything just seemed to just keep on progressing and getting more extreme and more extreme.
Things became so extreme that Alvarado says she didn't spend any quality time with her daughters for the last 10 months. She says when she tried to warn the state.
I told CPS this. I told them that they don't go outside. They don't have friends. Something's going on in that house.
But nothing happened. Now the two of them have lost both girls and their father. And while they don't know how they died, they can't help but think their extreme beliefs played a role.
So we're going to be just sitting in limbo, trying to figure out, what happened.
And police are still trying to piece together this investigation, so they're asking anyone who might have any information behind their deaths to contact authorities. We're live in Everett tonight. I'm Andrew Scheinthal, Cairo 7 News.
And now to new details about the mysterious death of a father and his two daughters in Renton. We're hearing from the mother, who tells us she became concerned when they began following a new religion, even giving up on things they were passionate about.
Adriana stopped playing basketball because it was worldly. Marielle, I guess, committed some sin that was, almost everything that you can do on this earth, their dad was teaching them was a sin. But she committed some sin, and she said that she had to give up drawing as a sacrifice because of her sins. And she didn't draw after that.
17-year-old Adriana Gill, 16-year-old Marielle Gill, and their father, 33-year-old Manuel Gill, were found inside their home last week with no obvious signs of what happened. Police say a preliminary report from the medical examiner shows the girls likely died several days before their father. Betsy Alvarado, who you heard talking there a moment ago, their mother, says she wanted to tell her daughter's story to bring attention to their case, saying this should have never happened.
And this is why I'm doing this, because my girls didn't deserve to die like this. There were warnings that people tried to give. There were things that people tried to do. And the least that could happen right now is for people to care about what happened to them.
Alvarado says her priority right now is to give her daughters a proper burial and is hoping for community support. Meantime, law enforcement is hoping the toxicology reports will reveal more answers, and we're told those reports take about 6 weeks.
These are my daughters, Adriana and Marielle. They were murdered by their father, Manuel Gil. This could have been prevented as I called CPS and placed a complaint, and so did Manuel's wife's brother. We voiced our concerns regarding the girls missing school regularly and their eating habits and them never leaving the home or going around anyone, basically not having a social life at all and only associating with their father and absolutely no one else. I expressed that there was an extreme shift in their behavior in grave detail, but that wasn't the only warning that was ignored. Manuel also abruptly quit his job, stating that he needed to make things right with his past. They offered he take some time off instead. He refused, saying he needs to make things right with his maker and the end is coming. Manuel has worked with this company for several years and they knew he was acting out of character. They knew he was doing extreme fasting and they knew he had children living with him, and still they refused to report this alarming behavior. A simple call to the police or mental health officials would have had people dispatched to his home, where they would have found a home with no food and 2 completely emaciated teen girls. My 16 and my 17-year-old girls were found at 100 pounds and 106 pounds. Their normal healthy weight is between 150 and 160. My girls literally suffered. This could have been prevented. They were starved but died at the same time, so died some other way. We know he was alive with their dead bodies 5 days after they died. We also know that the cat was fed and taken care of within this time. There was cat food in the bowl and the cat was doing good. Even though we have all these facts, it still hasn't been called a homicide. People are still saying RIP to that monster because they don't know. My girls deserve justice and they deserve change in their name for this to never happen to another child again. And most importantly, they deserve for people to know that they are the only victims here and for him to be called and remembered for what he is, a monster who murdered his own babies. When I called CPS, they took my complaint and put it to the side because it was probably someone who just said, this is a bitter mom. But that wasn't the case. I called for help. I saw something was wrong with my babies. I knew something was going on. I needed help. I reached out and was ignored. And now my babies are dead. And they deserve justice. Justice for Adriana and Marielle, for other children to not have to go through this.
If you wish to donate to Betsy Alvarado, her GoFundMe is in the description of this video.